Hello and welcome back to another bout of World Super Touring action. Here we are in Austria, Red Bull Ring, formerly the Österreich Ring, formerly the A1 Ring. Hasn't changed a lot in the last 20 to 30 years. And on the front row, you'll see the Volkswagen Golfs of Nico Wirtz and Sergio Suarez, who at the end of the last race, we were questioning their lack of performance. The not really powerful circuits of Interlagos and Barcelona, Interlagos notwithstanding, but we thought were doing very bad. But what we didn't expect was Ford have 2 points less than them in the Constructors' Championship and therefore are last of the big names. Obviously, privateers further back. We did promise a sort of slight update on the championship standings, and Gordon Butcher's Toyota does lead. One win, of course. Same can be said for Jean Aiello, who was 6 points behind Butcher with 55, sorry, and Aiello 49. Jason Thompson tied with Aiello, Honda third, joint second, and then we've got Jamie Webber's BMW. We'll try and keep up to speed on the rest of the drivers throughout. But Adrian Michael Rees here alongside me in the boxes, Christian Shepherd.
Yeah, hello.
And back on his perch for Team Mazda after a jaunt through the Dragon Trail Gardens pit lane. Can you hear us, Michael Swinnerton?
Yep, I've got you. I believe you are the commentary booth directly above us, so we shouldn't really have any connection issues.
Oh, there you are. Hello. Let's see what happens when the lights go out then. The Schneider P3 as well. We're expecting a stereotypical. There we go.
Yep.
Off the line quicker than the more powerful straight line speed Golfs into Niki Lauda curve. We're expecting some kind of chaos at the back of the pack. Ryan Camish with a decent qualifying as well.
Yeah, showed up his old teammates up to third now with an overtake on Wirtz, who's down from first to fourth.
And there's Palouse Ford in fifth. Hairpin at Remus. Going to be jostling for position further back. There's Gashaw.
Wirtz is now down to seventh place from pole.
And Sergio Suarez looks like he might be fighting back. Gone is the bottle of the previous season. And there goes the Fisichella dive on the inside of Niki Lammers. On board. Wirtz, there's Webber. And the first proper left turn. Not necessarily catching anyone out there. But still got a decent level of traffic as Fizzy and Lammers side by side or through Wirth. Over there's a more traditional course on the way into Rint Corner. And then Red Bull Mobile final turn. Lap 1 complete. Schneider leads. Suarez. Palou up to third now.
Yeah, past his old teammate. That can't be doing Camish any favours. Especially in confidence.
With a final year going on his Ford contract, yes.
Haven't you seen Ingram? I think that's him there right at the back, unfortunately.
Wasn't the best qualifying performances from Ingram. Was all okay at the start there, Swinny?
Yeah, it's just straight line speed's not really this car's forte, so we were expecting to struggle here a little bit. Although, having said that, we have just got past a Works Toyota for last place.
And that's Kazuki Idesoto and Wickens.
And Wickens, yeah, now
Remus.
place.
And Swinny will try and get back to you if we see any more incident.
Suarez ahead of Schneider for first place.
Suarez has gone ahead. That must be the straight line speed at some point after Niki Lauda curve.
Fords last year tended to have a little bit of a let's say sideways issue going in. I wonder if that's the same for this year.
We did mention at least one type of more than sideways issue earlier on, but Wirtz losing 6 places in the first the first lap effectively.
Straight shuffle down. Camish being attacked now by Gasho. Gasho pulled out of that. I'm not quite sure why he'd want to do that. Made a move and slow himself down in the process.
Other than keeping the car clean, I don't know the answer either.
No,
Jimmy
he's
Webber
definitely
closing
slowed
in.
himself down. Yeah, Webber. Well, actually, Webber backs off as well.
Now, the straight line speed of that Vert's driven Golf, not enough of a straight there perhaps, but these two now should be paying dividends for that Golf. Juarez has already gone ahead of Schneider. Vert should be able to do the same thing with the guys in front of him.
BMW just defending into technically turn
And
3 there, as Camish is defending 4th place from Gasho.
If only Camish had this impetus behind him throughout the last season, would he be giving Ford a better looking position going into this round? Would that it were Schlossgold, Paolo ahead of Camish, ahead of Gasho, ahead of Webber.
We know those McGanns are very quick, so just
Certainly
being ahead
can
currently
be.
at the moment.
And especially with the sort of charges, the surges they made forward through the Catalonia National Circuit. Fisichella now ahead of Lamas proper. But there's Jamie Thompson. Jason Thompson.
Very far back in 12th. Not having a startlingly good race at the Red Bull Ring.
There are rumblings at Toyota. They are keeping their cards close to their chest. They don't know what the decision is going to be for the end of this season, as Ingram now starts to get more places up from the back of the pack, ahead of the two Tamiya Hondas, of course. We missed that, but obviously this is good news anyway, and there's a personal best right there for Ingram across the line. Lap 3 complete. Pittman, the defending champion.
Unfortunately struggling all the way down the 14th place. Camish passed Pelot. That must have only just happened.
Now that's been, well, it did happen early, I'm pretty sure of it. I don't think we missed anything there. It's just the fact that they're closer than they were before.
No.
Especially going into Schlossgold.
Because Camish was defending against Gasho. He's gotten past Pelot for at least for turn 2 there.
The checker flag next to Pelot's name, signifying the win in Brazil. We're expecting a lot more from that Ford, just as much as we're expecting a lot more from the Volkswagen. And obviously a slight subtle change from the Catalonia race. Different circuit, of course, different atmosphere, different climate.
But we aren't seeing the oversteer coming from the Fords anymore either, as we were from the previous season.
Gasho wide, Webber down the inside.
Yeah, get Webber through. I wonder if we do seem to be missing all the overtakes at the moment.
I wouldn't say that was too bad. I think there was more of a mistake rather than an overtake. That time by on board Palo. Former teammate ahead. This should be a motivating factor. But already, the top two are already at the hairpin at the top of the hill. Down the inside, Palo. Camish defending that one very well indeed.
Yeah. Closed the nose on him, but Palo thought twice, braking a bit earlier than you'd expect for going for a move.
And the traffic jam becomes more of a train, more spread out.
Thompson now in 11th place. He's lost out to Aiello.
Aiello's
about to grab Lammers as well.
There we go.
Oh,
almost.
Maybe not. Pulled immediately out of it.
Easy to see. I'm seeing a lot of camber on some of these cars. for
Indeed.
a circuit with a bit of straight line speed to it. You'd expect the handling circuits to have that.
Yeah, Flow's under attack now by is it Webber? I would assume so. Snyder's out in
Yep.
the lead. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
in
those two
second
at the front.
place.
Those two are close still, but obviously with Webber and Sophia Schneider doing a bit more of the business at the early part of the season. In fairness, the tables between, say, the Volkswagen and the BMW have turned. If we are going to find any sort of difference in pattern, so RS still leads. You can see Schneider obviously within eyesight, within mirror sight. Everything else starting to spread out a bit more.
Flow's enjoying the slipstream, but then just not really finding any real place to.
And that's Fisichella ahead of Wurz.
Yeah, that's another place drop with Wurz. That can't be doing him any favours. Our old champion.
But compared to the early part of the season, still a good look for the Volkswagen duo. I wonder if the reverse grid has got anything of a, well, we've seen it happen before. The points should be good enough for places higher than 10th, but the appeal of a pole position for race 2 is obviously very tantalising if at this point in the race you are going to want to bail out just to make sure you've got enough of a front of the field advantage for race 2. But Aiello is in that position right now, chasing down Nicky Lammers through Rink Curve. On board, Aiello, over the sausages.
He's got his team up in 5th place, so there may be some gameship here at the moment for Gasho, for Aiello to stick with the 10th place. That's Ingram up to,
absolutely,
might have been already up to 14th, but Salo has dropped quite far back. Wickens unfortunately right at the back. Definitely flip-flop in terms of the teammates, them being towards the back and the others being towards the front.
Yeah, Kamish being the only sore thumb of the privateers, doing a very good job indeed. A good look for a podium here, whilst the rest of the privateers kind of...
looking for 5th place here. I think he's got it.
Got it. He's done the inside of Remus on Webber.
Yeah, I think Webber got too tangled with the two Fords in front, lost a bit of pace.
And then the other rear-wheel drive manufacturer effort of Fisichella in 7th. But you've still got the other Green Alpha being hounded down by Ingram. Since the start of the race, has been doing quite a good job. You get an excellent view of the infield there. Butcher, Wittmann, Ingram up to 14th. All quiet on the western front, Swinny?
Yeah, we're just in a holding pattern at the moment, not really challenging but not being challenged, just clicking off the laps at this point.
And a decent handful of championship points for the Mazda Privateer team as well. Kobayashi.
Ooh, a bit wide there a bit of a slide there from Rydell.
Rear-wheel drive, is this the point? I mean, it is halfway now. Would the tyres start to behave that way? We'll slide on for the rear-wheel drive, and there's the Wickens 3M Ford in last. But this battle still looks to be the one to look forward to for the second half of this race.
Blow's got to keep off the mighty gas show at the moment.
Whitman's now ahead of
Butcher's lost a lot of pace there.
Not a good look for Toyota this time. Byers Ingram down the inside onto Schlossgold. Job done. Almost. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened to the Toyotas. They're definitely not enjoying the high altitude of the Red Bull Ring. Oh, bit of
And
slide there.
there's the first of the slide-ons. Let's have a look at that in replay form.
He just drops it.
Well recovered, nonetheless.
Boot full of power, being a front-wheel drive.
And there was a bit of a wobble on as well. As we kind of predicted, only almost half a lap ago when we saw one of the Hondas through this portion of the track. And it's happened again. Whilst this is making really good news for Mazda, manufacturer rival Toyota must be pulling their hair out at this point.
I'm sure they'll be aware of the pros and cons of that car. If it's at altitude and they're struggling, then by all means.
And quite visibly two different beasts as well.
Yeah. Whereas at the front, a car that's been struggling for a large period of this championship is holding off one of the better, what do you call it, the more consistent BMWs of old. I just still not past Suarez. Hello down to fifth. Oh, we missed that.
Are we going to see her on the outside? That was brave.
Slight oversteer as well there. Only fastest in the second sector as well.
I think that first left-hander in the infield doesn't open up enough of an invite for a turn around the outside. The Gasho looked almost pulling off there, but here we go again, down the inside. That was the wobble on right there that stopped Gasho from getting ahead.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see that at the end of this straight. Power down. He's down the inside. Is the Ford going to be brave on the brake through Niki Lauda?
That's
corner cut
corner
there.
cut as well. Yep, he's had to give up the place.
Hasn't stopped anyone in other races or other circuits. There's Palou. And you can still see the top two through Remus already. Suarez still leads. Is the move on? It is not. So Schlossgold for another attempt and pops the second to last attempt on this lap at least. But it's still fairly static among the top 8. Suarez still putting in the fastest lap of the race so far.
Very weird late defend there from Camish. It's almost as if he was expecting Gasho to suddenly appear alongside him. Taking a very tight line compared to the McGann as well. Might be down to setup, but if he's defending before Gasho even gets there, that's not going to do him any favours.
But the attempts seem to have fizzled out.
No, they haven't. Here comes Gasho.
However,
slight wobble there going over the curbs.
it's almost as if compared to the Ford, the power is too late to arrive to take advantage of getting the position.
Yeah, slight dent on the outside of the other lights there for the McGann.
Webber and Palou.
Suarez still leads.
A train from Fisichella on back by the looks of it. Hammers, Wirtz,
Oh, Wirtz is down to 9th now.
Thompson, Wittmann.
Wirtz is nearly going to be on pole for the next race at this rate.
Did not want to call it. I'm hoping there would be a bit more action ahead of race 2. But if these are the rules that are put in front of you, you kind of expect the game to be played in that direction. Rydell with a bit of a love tap on the back of Salo, the rookie. Gordon Butcher down to 15th. Duma in the Privateer Alpha right behind him.
Yeah,
Attack on
Kobayashi
Kobayashi.
past Butcher there.
Oh, that was a
bit of a
tap.
shunt
That
there.
was a definite tap. And that was a definite tap.
Yeah, that is a I'm not dropping any more positions. Bit of an elbows out move there.
Gordon
Can't
Butcher
imagine.
coming from the Dale Earnhardt School of Racing there.
And there goes a bit of a wobble on for Kobayashi. Was Ingram saying something about Butcher then on the way up through the ranks?
No, he's just been lamenting the rear tyres going cold, which is causing the lift-off oversteer that you saw earlier.
It's also making him a bit of a target now for Kobayashi and Butcher at this rate, although they are attacking each other. In theory, would slow each other down.
Slight bit of revenge there from Kobayashi. You're not far from the Toyota garage, is it? Has the atmosphere down there been any different to previous races?
Sadly, no, because it's not the first time we've seen the Toyotas playing with the privateers towards the back of the grid. Unfortunately, they tend to be a bit, to use a pop culture reference, they're a bit Ricky Bobby. If they're not first, they're last.
Last. Definitely not in a good position.
Inside Kobayashi.
There we go.
That's too tight there, Kobayashi. That ain't gonna work.
Dumas set to capitalise on this as well. On board. Kobayashi goes ahead. Dumas
Definitely a little bit of
for a piece of the action.
Butcher's about to lose 2 in 1 here at the moment, unfortunately, at this rate. Dumas hang it around the outside. I thought Butcher was going to go for a move there on Kobayashi.
That might have been 6 of 1 because we know the rear wheel wobble on was happening. Butcher might have influenced that a bit more than we expected, or we assumed.
Yes. Butcher now down to 16th place.
And whilst that's happening, it's allowing Ingram to still provide a better gap than he expected. Now here we go, lap and a half of goodness to go rather. Schneider and Suarez now starting to ignite. And enough of a gap that both of them will be happy with a second place finish, but would obviously be even happier if they won.
No, I think Suarez will be absolutely lamenting any kind of mistake he may made if he goes down to 2nd place.
Well, let's hope so, because this is a sort of switch in fortune from the previous season where we'd see Suarez do an excellent qualifying and then all of a sudden capitulate. This has not been in any way a capitulation, because second will still be very good for what has been a pretty poor season so far.
Still potential race winners though, despite the fact that they're in what they had said, from what we've gathered, they've said to be a very poor version of the VW, considering the Scirocco was so dominant at one stage.
The rule change did put pay to that, but you'd expect their pedigree, shall we say? Oh, there we go. Schneider now leads. That was
Suarez ain't gonna
very
like
well
the
calculated.
stick. No, he's not going to like the stick. Here he comes.
Here he
comes.
One more lap to go. If there was only more turns.
Oh, Schneider's getting hung out dry there.
Wide and side by side on the run up to Remus. Suarez wants to get the message across.
Yeah, throws himself in front of Schneider there as well after the end of the turn 1.
I think this is going to be our focus for the rest of the lap. We see Camish still in 3rd. We see a gap. Well, we did see a gap, but there's Gasho.
Gasho just giving him a little nudge, but again, too tight on the inside line.
We kind of want Gasho to... Well, we want Camish to be on the podium, all things considered. Not only good news for him, but also a kick in the teeth to Ford as a manufacturer effort for ditching him.
If I'm not mistaken, he did well in the Ford last time here, for both races.
Absolutely.
So it's probably just a track that he enjoys. I don't think Ford's going to lament too much about the fact that he's finishing ahead of Palou, or at least looking like he's going to finish ahead of Palou.
Verth, the S's. And towards Rint Curve we go. Are we going to see what we saw on the previous lap? Schneider down the inside, perhaps. Suarez better defend this one for all it's worth. But he doesn't. Okay.
Perfectly. That should be enough. That VW's got the pace. And that's a
To
winner
the
for
line,
Suarez.
Schneider second. That was a close one. We expected it perhaps a little bit more. But speaking of close ones, Camish, privateer win for the Fords. Palou in fifth, not so bad, all considered. Webber sixth. Fisichella seventh, Lowers eighth. Verts.
Thompson got 10th. What happened to
Thompson
Aiello?
did get 10th. Aiello, there he is with Wittmann.
Aiello dropped off quite a fair bit somewhere. That's
And look at
very
this.
Unfortunate.
Ingram manages to get 13th. We did see Butcher ahead there, but Ingram was 13th for quite some time towards the end of the race. E-Day 19th. We're going to see Wickens kind of tootling along through the Verth S's there.
Probably an engine save. It's probably just to save it.
Quite possibly, and obviously the acknowledgement of a national rivalry of manufacturers, well presented in the neighbouring country on the circuit that we all know can produce good racing, and we saw it right there. Race one and done. We're going to be taking a break now, and the afternoon will provide us with the reverse grid for race two. On behalf of Christian Shepherd and Michael Swinnerton, good racing, everyone.